Hi, it's Chris here from the SME Centre of Excellence, and welcome back to the 7th part of this video series. Today we're going to have a look at key partners to the left of the screen there, and we're going to have a bit of a chat about that and try to understand the importance of this part. So, whether you know it or not, your idea sits in a value chain, and this is the complete process by which a product or service is made and delivered. There's a good chance that you don't do everything yourself, although in some organisations you do, but often I observe that the business doesn't hold all of the cards. Somebody either sits before you or after you, and we need to keep them all happy to make the supply chain. So, for example, somebody else might create the raw ingredients that your company uses that you create into something special. Also, in this example, we would need to use external delivery organizations to ensure our products reach the customers. So you'll see the supply chain here is kind of the raw ingredients at the front, us in the middle as an organization, and then a supplier or a delivery agent at the end of it in order to create our supply chain. Some other examples might include that you might be borrowing some retail space from a larger organization, or that you may be stocking your product in other people's stores, or perhaps you have people who refer a lot of customers, or you have an advertising platform that helps people discover your business. These are all areas or things that are key partners that you need in order to make your business the best it can be and maybe as smooth as it can be. Partners are great. A good partnership can transform your sales by either increasing the traffic or doing something better than you could do it yourself. So as an example, and I'm sure you've probably seen this advertised as well, Intel, they're specialists in microchips and computers. So most computer companies use them as a supplier of microchips. I mean, it would cost, millions, maybe even billions of pounds in order to create your own microchip processing factory and then in the staff and what have you. Additionally, most cafes don't roast their own coffee, so form partnerships with large or artisan brands. But actually what I'm seeing, because I quite like to drink a lot of real ale, and what I'm seeing is that a lot of small pubs are creating their own breweries in the back of it. But can work. It does bring complications, but I'm starting to see this happen more and more often. Considering your idea and considering coming up with a list of key partners that may need to support you is really important within the business model canvas. And just realize that partnerships are about specialization. So that's the decision. You funnel your energy and expertise towards your strengths and then outsource your weaknesses to others. So if you think about accountancy, for example, I'm not the best with numbers in the world, so as a result I tend to just farm my accountant off. Equally HR, it's a really specialised area. I tend not to take care of HR. I've got an HR company that does all this outsourcing for me. These arrangements allow you to swap fixed costs for variable costs, buying only the finished product rather than paying for all of the research, the development, the machinery, the time, etc., etc. So, this all sounds great so far, making relationships with external organizations that specialize in parts of the supply chain that you either can't do or can't fund or can't manage. But there is a catch. Partners can't be controlled like our resources can, so they require deliberate attention and management. Failure to manage this correctly can result in a competitor locking up an exclusive deal, or worse, your partner, your key partner, becomes your competitor. It's really important that the deal that you do with your key partner is formed via a contract, and it's a strong contract. It needs to be a win-win situation, and we need to be clear on what's in it for the other party. And so this prompts the question, what business are you in? Understanding your business allows you to make good decisions about where to double your efforts and where to cut your losses and form a partnership. I think very early on in the business, I observe a lot of people trying to do everything all of the time. And that's great and that's okay. But there comes a time where you go, do you know what? It's taken me 5 times longer to do my accounts or my HR or my IT than it would a specialist. So just realise that sometimes it's probably more cost efficient, more cost effective, and a better use of your time to outsource things. This is probably why some of the reasons you find two companies in the same industry can be quite a different business. I suppose it depends on how they work with their key partners, what they think a key partner is, and the deal that they do. If you think of Netflix focusing on content creation, and Amazon moving into retail, and then Facebook constantly changing its features, these people aren't focused incrementally on refining their craft, but instead they're obsessed with serving their customer and are willing to form creative partnerships to make people happy. So just concentrate on what you're very good at. So some of the questions I have for you about creating opportunities and exploring what if questions with key partners. What if we found a partner who could manufacture core resources for cheaper than we can do it ourselves? Or who else could stock our products? Or what other services could benefit from integrating what we do? So all these questions that the business really should be asking will help you form who your key partners are. But don't forget, dependencies on key partners can be dangerous because they present significant risks. If we have a partner who could sink our business with a single decision, then we either need to find a backup or create a retention strategy. Because suppliers or supplier partners or key partners can go bust, or worse still, they can become so successful that the lead times lengthen or prices dramatically increase. This is a big consideration because the product or service your partner provides could be critical in your supply chain, but it might be a marginal one for the supply partner, and this leaves you at a huge risk of removal of supply. So I'm not suggesting that you go out and you find 15 key partners to deliver the same product, but what I am asking you to consider is, what is the risk of putting all of your eggs in one basket, and we let the business or the directors take that decision. But by identifying these dependencies early, we can find ways of trying to defend against possible disasters. And so we come on to the types of key partnerships. The first one I quickly want to talk about is optimization and economy of scale. This is the most basic form of partnership or buyer-supplier relationship, and it's designed to optimize the allocation of resources and activities. It is illogical for a company to own all of the resources or perform every activity by itself. I see it quite often when businesses start, and very, very quickly they get to a stage where capacity-wise they just can't do everything, and it just pays for them to source things out. Optimization and economy of scale partnerships are usually formed to reduce costs and often involve outsourcing or sharing information or infrastructure. There is a reduction of risk and uncertainty partnership, and these partnerships can help reduce risk in a competitive environment characterized by uncertainty. So it's not unusual for competitors to form strategic alliances in one area while competing in another. I'm going to give you 2 examples here. So for those of you who are old enough to remember the development of Blu-ray, this is an optical disc format or standard jointly developed by a group of the world's leading consumer electronics, personal computer and media manufacturers. This whole group got together and cooperated to bring or define the Blu-ray standard technology to market. Yet individual members then started to compete, selling their own Blu-ray product. So I can remember Blu-ray players and gosh, everything else around Blu-ray discs and all kinds of things. But additionally, a little bit further down the line, I'm thinking off the top of my head about MP3s. So many competitors would have come together to agree that particular standard, that music standard. But after this, Apple would have been producing their iPod, and Dell would have been producing their version of it, and other manufacturers would have been producing their versions, compete against each other. So that can be quite complicated sometimes. And the last one is acquisition of particular resources. So a few companies own all of the resources or perform all of the activities described by the business models. Rather, they extend their own capabilities by relying on other firms to furnish particular resources or perform certain activities. Such partnerships can be motivated by needs to acquire knowledge, licenses, or access to customers. If you think about a mobile phone manufacturer, perhaps, these might license an operating system. I certainly know that Android do this. They might license operating systems for the handsets rather than developing an in-house solution. It's such a costly exercise. An insurer may choose to rely upon independent brokers to sell their policies rather than develop its own sales force. So that's just a little bit about key partners. The importance of it. It's a really important part. It's no less important than the other parts. It's equally as important. And 4 questions that I'm going to leave you with. What business are we in? Who has a speciality we can leverage? What partnerships would be valuable for us in the future? And where are we overly dependent on a partner? That was the key partner section of the business model canvas. And in the next video, I'm probably going to be talking around revenue streams. So keep your eyes open for that, and I hope to bring that to you real soon.